What's up, y'all? This is Dave Views, and this is Get Real, and it's why are young people leaving the church? This is a reaction that I wanted to do for y'all, and I want to give my thoughts on why I think young people are leaving the church. So this first part is called Disillusionment. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire, and I'd like to welcome you to this Get Real series, where we're asking the question, why are young people leaving the church? We're going to explore 4 reasons and responses to the growing exodus of millennials and Gen Z from the church. Whether you're a young person on the threshold of leaving your faith, or a youth worker or church leader, I hope this short series won't be a cause for panic, but instead offer some honest reflection on how we can equip and retain the next generation, the church of tomorrow. Are you the expected one, or should we look for someone else? That's from Luke 7 verse 19. And this is the famous question that John the Baptist sent his followers to ask Jesus. John, the great forerunner, the one who had guts to announce the arrival of Jesus, the one who didn't care what people thought about his fashion sense of camel's hair and a leather belt, or his strange diet of locusts and honey. John the Baptist, whom Jesus considered was the greatest to ever live. This same John the Baptist went on to sit in a prison cell, confined, confused, and questioning. Are you the expected one, or should we look for someone else? This question is filled with pain and disappointment. How could John have gone from proclaiming the good news of Jesus to questioning whether the very Jesus he talked about really was the one he should be looking for? But for some of us, this change in John is no mystery. We have known what it's like, whether suddenly or over a longer period of time, we have known what it's like to doubt and raise questions to our Christian worldview. Not only do the questions cause pain, but there is also the self-loathing or embarrassment as we wonder how and why we allowed ourselves to trust people in the church, to take seriously the claims of the Bible, or even how we allowed ourselves to believe.
I know for me personally, I am pulled back from the church. I believe in God, but I'm pulled back, and I know I've pulled back because of the unanswered questions that nobody can answer for me. The stances on the homosexual LGBT community that I disagree with from a lot of Christians. The hypocrisy that a lot of people that are in the Christian faith have, and that's just, I'm really not going to church. I'm only going to church if I'm invited, like a wedding or a christening or a baptism or something like that, or Easter, kid doing the Easter thing. That's the only reason I would go back to church. It just doesn't seem like I should go there. Like, if I want to read my Bible, I can do that at home. If I want to find a good sermon, I can find it on the internet. It just seems like I don't need to go to church. And it seems like other young people may think the same, or I don't know. I'm still on my journey. I still not quite knowing how I feel about Christianity, religion as a whole, I'm still going through my journey, and maybe young people are going through a journey to figure out who they would worship, who they want to worship, or if they want to worship any deity at all, or if they're going to be agnostic. It seems like I'm rambling, but basically it's all about the journey, and I'm still on mine, and a lot of young people are still on theirs too.
Believe in God. We have squirmed in the discomfort of a straightforward faith becoming more complex as we move from optimism to cynicism about the faith of our childhood. And such a change can be triggered by many things, but often what underpins this is disillusionment. The filter comes off, and Christianity no longer seems like what we first believed. Perhaps in the face of the pandemic, we became disappointed at the notion of a God who could seem to allow so much suffering. Maybe we've been shocked by the news of a Christian leader who failed to live up to the standards they preached or taught. And on top of that, the church did not seem to hold them accountable. Interestingly, according to Barna Research in 2018 on Gen Z.
Hold on, not to disrupt her too much. That's one of the reasons also I really fell out with Christianity a little bit, because of how the Catholic priests and the Christian pastors get away with doing crazy acts, and no one really, like, all these preachers and priests that lead people astray and lead people into evil things, and people who pastors and priests that take advantage of people. That's also one thing that made me look towards Christianity with the type of way, like with a bad feeling. Well, I'm gonna let her continue.
Z. The main findings from the study is that the problem of evil is a major barrier to faith for non-Christian teens, 29%. Other reasons non-believers provide as common barriers to faith include Christians are hypocrites, 23%. In an interview I did with Lisa Fields, do check it out on the Get Real website. She's the founder of the Jews Free Project, and she says that the number one reason that she has encountered for people beginning to object to Christianity is hypocrisy. Often Lisa hears people say Christianity is a novel idea, but they haven't seen it practiced. Now, this picture I've painted of a melting pot of hypocrisy, moral failure, and disappointment in God might seem very grim, but there is hope. When cracks begin to appear in our faith and disillusionment sets in, this is actually a moment of opportunity, an opportunity to dig more deeply and interrogate our faith. Can it stand up to the scrutiny of our questions? Like John the Baptist, we ask, are you the expected one, or should we look for someone else? In her book, Where is God in All the Suffering?, Amy Orr Ewing writes, our human outrage at suffering points us beyond ourselves and prompts us to seek meaning and transcendence. Yep. According to the Christian worldview, transcendence is not merely a concept, a path, or destination. Transcendence is a person. Jesus, the one who is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being. The mere fact that we are uncomfortable with injustices that we witness or experience in our faith, that suggests things should or could be better. Perhaps there is a standard for good in the face of all the wrong that we see. And this intuitive sense points us to the moral perfection of Jesus, his life, his sacrificial death, and his hope-filled resurrection. When we find ourselves disillusioned in our faith, we may want to run away from rather than to Jesus. But just like John the Baptist, we can question the transcendent one who became immanent in the person of Jesus.
This was a good video. I agree with some. I see where she was going with some. I'm not gonna say agree. I see where she was going with some of the things. I personally, like I said, hypocrisy is one of the reasons I'm not deeply in the church. I don't like how all these preachers and Catholic priests taking advantage of kids and stuff. I don't like how that's being swept under the rug. I don't like even being in the church building. That's just me. I don't think I have to be there, you know. And I don't like their stance on the LGBT thing. I don't like that. So that's just me. And some people who are struggling with it. They don't know if he's real or not because a lot of people are not even thinking that he exists as he is. I mean God. So there's a lot of different ways people can struggle with this. I want to know the next part. I'm going to watch the next part. I'm going to react to the next part. I think that's important. But yeah, it's a good. This would be a good reason why young people are leaving the church. It's because of hypocrisy. They either don't believe in God because it's not tangible. The judgment from people in the church. It's a lot of things that we can go with. But if you like me, and you agree with what I'm saying, or you don't agree, comment down below, like, comment, subscribe. And this has been my video. This is Dave Views, and I am out. Peace.